Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Mazzeo, CMO at Scitara, and I want to wish you a Happy New Year for 2025. I hope it's not too late to do so. It's January 13th as I record this video for you. But again, Happy New Year. And certainly hope that you're excited about 2025. At Scitara, I can promise you we're extremely excited about this year because we really think it's going to be a tipping point as we continue to strive to help our customers to drive digital transformation at scale in their laboratories. One of the things that I'm most proud about at Scitara, and we think is a real differentiator for us, is that we have an incredible partner network, and we continue to add to that every year. And one of our partners, who's well known, is a company, Accenture, has recently put out some research on the concept of and the benefits of what they refer to as a digital core. Now, this is a concept that applies across an organization, and really it's basically been put out by Accenture to say that in today's world of digitalization and data and AI, if you want to maintain competitiveness as a business and the ability to adapt to change and reinvent your business, you need to have what's called a digital core. And in this video, what I wanted to talk a little bit more about is this concept of digital core, what it means, what the benefits are, and more importantly, how it applies into the lab and how Scitara DLX can play a role in building what we refer to as a lab digital core. So first off, Accenture's done a lot of research on this, and they've shown that with a digital core, a company can increase its agility, that is, its ability to adapt to change. It can increase its overall efficiency of operation by unlocking things like automation. And finally, it can increase its ability to innovate because it's taking advantage of data and AI, et cetera. So it's really, really an important concept in today's business world to have a digital core. Now, as I said before, we think this concept applies equally in the lab space. And we also think that Scitara DLX can play a key role in helping to build a digital core. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what are some of the key elements that Accenture talks about in the digital core and how it applies with Scitara DLX for the lab. The first thing that they mention is that you need to have a cloud-first infrastructure to build a digital core. And obviously, Scitara DLX is a cloud-based platform. Number two, you need to have the ability to do automation with your digital core. And it's one of the things I've talked about many times with Scitara DLX in the past. And finally, they talk about the need to have data centralized in a place where you can do analytics and get insights from the data. And that's something I've talked about recently as well, where we can now, with the data stream, we can stream your contextualized lab data into the repository of your choice, where you can do analytics and take advantage of modern tools like AI. So again, we think that Scitara DLX for the lab really fits perfectly with this concept of a digital core. Now, one of the things that happens when we talk to customers in an initial engagement is that almost all customers have some level of instrument integration to some of their systems in the lab, typically their ELN or their LIMS. And they often ask us, well, why do I need Scitara DLX? You know, I've already unlocked some of the benefits of automation with data. Why do I need Scitara DLX? And so I want to go through why we don't see the current approach to instrument integration to LIMS or ELN, et cetera, as a digital core. Number one, it's typically not done with a cloud-first infrastructure, right? It's usually done, in an on-prem kind of way. Secondarily, really, really hard to take advantage of that to do streaming of data into a repository with that contextualized data, as we can do with Scitara DLX. And finally, as I've talked about in other videos, it's really difficult to do this approach because it's done with what we call point-to-point integrations. And I've talked in previous videos about some of the disadvantages of point-to-point integrations. Number one, they're very costly to maintain. Number two, they really reduce your lab's agility, the ability to make changes, because every time you introduce something new, you've got to build all these new connections. There's a huge validation burden associated with them, et cetera. So it's not really a digital core. So if your lab today has some level of integration in place and you're wondering, like, why should I consider a platform like Scitara DLX? I hope this video is giving you a reason to realize that now is the time to change. That if you're going to maintain your competitiveness in today's world of data and AI, you really need a digital core, and your labs need a digital core. and Scitara DLX is really the ultimate way to build that lab digital core. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video. Please reach out. Once again, this is Jeff Mazzeo, CMO at Scitara. Thank you so much for listening to my video. And again, I wish you a great 2025.